Ooh, I tell her get low, gon' rock with me. You gon' mess around now and get a shopping spree. I'm now in your possession like apostrophe. Ooh, enough with all the talking, I just told her say less and do more, do more, do more, do more. Ooh, I tell her do more, do more, do more, do more. Go ahead, set the mood right, dirty like a food fight. You been working all day, load it up in 2 nights. Do more, do more, do more, do more. Ooh, I tell her, and she gon' work that right. I'ma mess around and drown when she drop that down. No more phone be blowing up, I like not right now. Oh, I swear that she in next the way she work that mouth. Whoa, automatic cause she move, she be cousin static. I be straight up like an addict, might become an addict. Now I gotta have it, had enough with all the moves, yeah, move here. Ooh, let me grab it now, I'm on 1 year. Now I'm not done yet, told her wait right here. I'll be back 1 sec, this is just time out, this is not no way. Go and grab that friend, and you know what's next, stay. You been rockin' with an all-star, baby, and I know you coming early like a false-star, baby. Packing out the seat, this ain't no hostile, baby, and they know me in the city like a mob star. Ooh, I tell her get low, gon' rock with me. You gon' mess around now and get a shopping spree. I'm now in your possession like apostrophe. Ooh, enough with all the talking, I just told her say less and do more, do more, do more, do more. Ooh, I tell her do more, do more, do more, do more. Go ahead, set the mood right, dirty like a food fight. You been working all day, load it up in 2 nights. Do more, do more, do more, do more. Ooh, I tell her, work that mouth.
Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face, they all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it done like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
Coach, what's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog. up whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same. I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right. I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life. I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose, and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mafia, we're getting a little bit of a pump to the upside. And believe it or not, we started pumping right on one of the things that we were looking at on this live stream. I believe it was on Friday. It was actually a couple of days we were looking for this signal, and we just could not get it to print. And then finally it printed, and here we are, up at almost $58,000, getting a little bit of a rejection here from 58K. But we're going to be talking about a few things today. We have a lot to go over. I want to talk about the higher time frames, guys, and kind of how I'm handling things in the macro, not only with my leverage trades, but also with my spot bags. Taking a look at the higher time frames, looking at those key levels. Are we still in danger of getting the lower low to come in towards that $40,000 area? Well, money flow would be pointing in that direction, but I'm going to kind of go over why, even if that happens, I'm not that worried. And then we'll go over the local levels, and we'll talk about what we're expecting here in the short term out of Bitcoin. We'll give you guys all the sauce that you come here for. And if you like that sauce, smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some free chances to give away some free chances to. We're not gonna make you give away the crypto. We're gonna let you win the crypto. Last week we gave away like 3 Frankie Candles hats, a ton of ADA. We gave $150 in Solana to one lucky Mafia member. Saw some transactions on one of the exchanges, and I was like, Tony, are you taking Solana? Like, what are you doing with that, bro? And he's like, dude, the giveaway. I was like, oh, that's right. But yeah, shout out to everybody who won those giveaways last Friday. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. smash that like button if you like the content, if I've helped you out with where price is going to go in any case or in any of these recent live streams. If we've given you any little bit of candlelight in this messy market, go ahead and smash that like button. Shout out to Moonseller said shout out to you, smack that. Shout out to Moonseller, he said it, smack that like button, not me. Shout out to Steve wants to see Phantom. Let's see, we got I don't know how to say that. I'm gonna call him 3 saying hi family, what is going on? We got Parnov, welcome in bro, good to see you. Said BTC better move to the upside now, or I'll sell you all. Or I will sell you and buy XRP. Yeah, shout out to Parnov. We got Wayne T in the chat. Curtis Neal. We got Altcoin Corey, also known as Daddy Zach. Welcome in, bro. Good to see you in here. Curtis Neal, what is going on? We got Russell. We got the Godfather. Show the Godfather some love in the chat. You got to respect the Godfather here, guys. And shout out to our mods. We got Crypto Billy, Crypto Anon, Captain Kirk, Rob the Crypto Snob. I'm not sure exactly which ones are in here. I know I saw Crypto Billy, Captain Kirk, Rob, Tyler Durden. You guys know who they are. Show them some love in the chat. They do so much for this YouTube channel, and if you love them as much as I do, show them some love in the chat. But with all that being said, guys, I saw how many people smash that like button. We need 3 more likes, and we're going to go ahead and jump on into the charts. And there they are. So let's go ahead, and without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and cover all this price action on Bitcoin and see if we can predict the next move. Let's get into it. So here we are. I'm kidding. I couldn't see the likes. I don't know if we got 3 more likes. But let's see. Shout out to Benny, says, morning all. Shout out to you, bro. Bears Wreck, shout out to Flat Smack. The market just flat smacked all those shorts. I was actually talking to the Discord about that just a few minutes ago. But yeah, pretty decent little washout of the shorts here. However, guys, let's go ahead. I want to break down this current price action. Now, let me actually, can I hide this? Yeah, I guess I will go ahead and remove this alert. But I do want to talk about the overall price action here on the higher time frames before we jump into those local levels and we take a look at kind of what we just rejected off of, as well as where we could potentially look for a move back to the upside after we get this small pullback. But obviously, guys, on last week's live streams, one of the things that we were looking at to potentially see a bounce here from this low that we made, which did come in at about $52,500, as we, one of the things that we were looking at here to anticipate that, larger push up. Now, in the grand scheme of things, guys, I know it's that 5% move that everybody kind of like always gets everybody going, and then like this daily candle just happened to be just about 6.8%. So not really like the most gigantic pump here, but this is nice to see as we've come off this low here where we did have a daily naked point of control that we were bouncing off of. As you guys know, we were watching some of these local Fibonacci levels where we had the golden pocket between about 55,000 and 54,548, and then the 786 down here at $52,353. This was kind of this area where we could have potentially put in a little low and then gotten a little bit of a bounce to the upside. We also had that daily naked point of control coming through here. However, one of the major things that we were looking at to get the bounce to the upside for a while, right? Like this was something we were looking at and we just couldn't print the signal, right? And that main thing was that green dot on the daily time frame here on Market Cipher B. Now, obviously, VWAP did come up here just a little bit. This was on last Tuesday, right? Started to come up here, looking to cross over into the green, saying, hey, maybe we can get a bounce here if we can print that green dot. We never got the green dot. Obviously, didn't get the bounce because of it. And then eventually we did start to see this VWAP start to round off a little bit. And this was just kind of the main thing we were looking at, because not only were we looking at the green dot, but we were also looking at something even more specific, and it was that 90-minute money flow crossover into the green. And as you guys know, this is something I've been covering on the live stream for quite some time, as it is a very, very simple strategy that you can use if you have Market Cipher B to potentially get into some pretty good positions and be on the right side of the trade. And that is when you have that green dot on the daily and that money flow crossing over into the green on the 90-minute. And you guys can kind of see here that money flow crossover into the green, and hopefully a lot of you guys tuned in right now. Shout out to Tony D. Tony D, we should give some memberships. I'm seeing a lot of gray in here, which may either mean that that might mean that we just have a lot of new people, but it also might mean that we just need to give away some memberships. So shout out to Tony D. Do it at your own discretion, but drop some memberships on the Mafia right now. We got to get some more green in this chat. But with that 90-minute money flow crossover into the green, this is what we were looking for the move up. And you guys can see this is something we've been looking at, like not only to anticipate this move up, but recently we've been looking at this strategy very often to try to anticipate either the bigger moves up or the bigger moves down here. And you can see 90-minute money flow crossover occurred right here. That daily green dot started to print, money flow crossover into the green, and you can see that is indeed what started to give us the bigger move up. So shout out to anybody who was tuned into the live streams looking for this actual signal. Not that you just, I always say this, right? I used to trade this alone, right, where you just see that lower time frame money flow crossover into the green, and I would kind of just enter based off that. Now I have a little bit more of an advanced entry strategy, but for a new trader and just in a very, very simple way, this is just a really, really clear signal to see on the charts, and it's very easy to backtest, right, especially if you have market cipher B, but that did wind up giving us that move to the upside. Absolutely beautiful, right? Just sit there, wait for the money flow crossover, and then boom, we're off to the races. But the question is, are we out of the woods, right? Like, is this pump to the upside? Is this like, oh my God, we're bullish. The massive bull flag on the daily is going to break out. Oh my God, 100K incoming. Where are we? Let me come on over here really quickly. Let me go ahead and hide some of this stuff. Bada boom, bada bing, clean up these local levels. But yeah, is this where we are going to see? All right, maybe it is on this, maybe it's on the live stream chart. Where did my bull flag go? Hang on 1 second, guys. I think I may have deleted some stuff here. Is this the, did I delete those levels? All right, I must have deleted those levels. But obviously, guys, everybody looking at this as a bull flag, is this a beautiful sign, right? Are we just going to see this bull flag wind up? Let me just draw this with the brushes to make it a little easier. Are we going to see this bull flag just break out? Are we going to go off in new all-time highs? And it's a really, really hard call to make, right? Now, on the higher time frames, I will say this, right? Your 2-day or your 3-day money flow. Hey, shout out to Crypto Billy. Let's go. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Give them those 20 Frankie Candles memberships. Let's go. An absolute legend. Absolute legend. Shout out to Tony D. At Tony D. He's probably like having trouble with the account. But shout out to Tony D. Drop some memberships on here. Crypto Billy beat you to it. Let's get it. You get one. You get one. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Getting some green names up in here. At Tony D. At Tony D. Hey, Siri. Text Tony Elbows. Hey, bro, I don't know if you're stuck on something, but can you gift memberships? Do you want to send it or change it? Yeah, we'll just set, yeah, there we go. Done. But anyway, shout out to Crypto Billy. Thank you so much for doing that, bro. And shout out to everybody who just got a membership. If you want to win one of these memberships, you got to make sure in your YouTube settings you have gifting enabled. Otherwise, you will be unable to get them. And another 50 Frankie Candles membership. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Shout out to Crypto Billy. We're going to start calling Crypto Billy Golden. Shout out to Crypto Billy. And shout out to Tony D. At Tony D. At Tony D. But anyway, shout out to Crypto Billy, bro. Thank you so much. Talk about hashtag givers gain. Unbelievable. Crypto Billy, the GOAT. They don't call him the Billy Goat for nothing, guys. But yeah, shout out to Billy. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. But here we are, guys. On the charts, this 3-day money flow is still in the red. Now, obviously, we do still have to keep an open mind here. Someone was saying, I forget who it was it Crypto Infinity? Someone said, is this lackluster? And I was like, I hope not. Possibly not, but unfortunately, there is definitely a possibility that this could be a lackluster pump to the upside. Now, if you guys have been watching the channel, you know that obviously that green dot with the 90-minute money flow crossover was what we were looking at for that next push to the upside. And we're going to get into the key levels in just a few minutes, but we still have to keep an eye on these higher time frames and the overall kind of macroeconomic state of the world right now. So, if we do see this continued pump, this is not impossible, and I'm going to show you why on the medium hourly time frames, why we could potentially continue to see this push up. However, the 3-day is still looking potentially bearish, right? This money flow is still very clearly coming to the downside. We're starting to round off a little bit. VWAP is coming up, but remember, this is not necessarily a signal where we're looking for a moonshot to new all-time highs. It's the same thing back here on this last green dot on the 3-day that we got last time the VWAP crossed over, as well as the last time we crossed over the zero line right here with that green dot on the 3-day. Now, obviously, these do call for moves to the upside as we do look for them based off these signals. You get the green dot on the 3-day. You do anticipate a move up, but you have to look at it through the filter or through the lens of a potential lower high and and then a continuation to the downside, breaking your structure to lower prices. Same thing here, right? We cover this almost every single day on the live stream at this point. You look for the bounce here. This was actually a 2-day green dot that we were looking at. 2-day green dot made us anticipate the bounce, right? But we were also looking at a potential macro lower high for a continuation to the downside, which obviously we did have and give the key levels here on the live stream at that 786. We also had a daily horizontal, etc., etc. All given on the live stream. I'm not going to beat the dead horse there because we've already talked about this so much. But I want to show that as, this is important. We have that 2-day green dot about to print. But does that mean that we're just going to go off to new higher prices? And money flow, to be quite honest, would not be pointing towards that, right? The 3-day money flow would still be pointing towards a lackluster push to the upside to potentially put in a lower high and continue the move to the downside. Now, if we do go ahead and pull up from the high to the low here, typically, previously on all these moves back up, we have rejected the golden pocket 786 level, right? Golden pocket, we kind of broke it a little bit, but eventually wound up rejecting here. And again, if you pull this to the actual high, we basically rejected that 786, right? And then on the next drop, right, we wound up getting the retracement into the golden pocket 786. And then on the next drop, we wound up getting the rejection right here on the golden pocket 786, right? So if we were, right, because we know that is the place where is the highest likelihood of that lower high coming in, at least based off Fibonacci levels, right? So in that case, if we were, now we didn't really technically put in a lower high here. However, if we are going to look for this continuation up, could we make it to 60K? Now, I do think that with that 2-day green dot, if we can print it, right, is getting very close. Once that VWAP crosses over the zero line, we will get that 2-day green dot, and that would make us anticipate a potential continuation up. But again, money flow being in the red on the 2-day and the 3-day would make you anticipate a lackluster push up for a retracement, for a potential lower high. And if we reject that kind of same theory where we're looking at that golden pocket 786, that may be the big area of resistance to watch. Now, that level is coming in at about, let's see. 62.4 all the way to $60,189. So that's going to be kind of the next major level of resistance. And again, if we're going to put in that macro lower high, that is going to be just like it was on all these last retracements. Again, everyone, when we get these big pumps to the upside, everybody looks like super confused. They're like, why is this guy looking for lower prices if we just got a massive pump, right? Like normally people will see this and be like, we just got a 27% pump, bull market's on, all-time highs incoming. Why are you looking in the 50,000s, right? And I just come up here and give the TA, and over time we do see it does wind up playing out. Not only over that drop, but also for this drop and also for this drop. And again, we did not put in the lower low just yet, at least on the wicks, but that would just kind of be the same theory. It's just the probability of the TA playing out, right? This is not me calling for anything specific. It's just simply, if this, then that statements. If the pump up continues, we will look for the rejection. If we get the short confirmations, we will look to take the short on the way back down. So there you go. Now, another thing to realize here, guys. So just in general, if we continue the pump, which I do think is possible, again, based off these medium hourly time frames, 3-hour money flow is now crossing over into the green. 2-hour money flow is now crossed over into the green. Now, one thing I do want to bring up is that we are somewhat overbought here, right? 2 hours pretty overextended. 3-hour also pretty overbought. 4-hour also starting to get pretty overbought as well. But all this medium hourly time frame money flow coming up does make me think that even if we get a little bit of a pullback here, which is not impossible, that we will likely see this continuation up to higher prices. And in my personal opinion, we were in the premium Discord earlier today looking at some key levels. And last night in the premium Discord, I was letting everybody know, like, hey, we're about to get that 90-minute money flow crossover. I was sleeping when it happened, unfortunately, but I dropped that setup in the Discord for everybody. And some of the Mafia members were able to get in and capitalize on this move to the upside. But the next level that we were looking to come up to was that, first off was this, let me actually pull this up because I'm not going to be sharing anything super secret here. They're just levels of support and resistance. And just so I don't share anything super secret, let me just make sure that I don't select the wrong thing, right? So, as we were looking at here in the premium Discord late last night, right before I went to bed, I'm so glad that I posted this last night before I went to bed. But, one of the things that I was looking at here was like, hey, we got the golden pocket 786 retracement. If we can continue up here, we could potentially see price come into that $56,000 level, which obviously was that next level that we wound up kind of hanging out at earlier today. This was the value area low of this local range that we've been looking at on top of a fresh a fresh weekly horizontal here. There we go. Shout out to Frankie Candles. Shout out to Tony D for dropping those memberships. Let's go. Shout out to everybody in here who may have just gotten a membership. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for doing that. And shout out to Frankie Candles. There we go. Hopefully that'll get the rest of the gray names in here green. This is a pretty lame. There we go. That's a little bit more exciting there. That was a kind of a lame effect there. But there we go. I see the green names popping in. Let's get it. But obviously, we look to come up to that $56,000 level. I could actually go ahead and let me pull up my face cam because I don't want to leak anything, exclusive here. I don't want to. I don't want to leak anything, but I just want to talk about this because the TA is relevant. So, pull up the screen here. So you can see here, looking for, as we were deviated below that volume profile, we're getting some sauce can emojis down here as well. But basically just looking for price to come on up into that weekly value area low around $56,000. Woke up this morning, price was simply sitting at $56,000. And then just a little bit later, or earlier today, woke up, said, hey guys, boom, at the target. And then a little bit later, on the premium live stream, literally looking for price to flip that value area low and come into this golden pocket sitting at about 58.1. And here we are coming up to that exact level. And that is really where we are stalling out here next. So very simply put, guys, this is going to be the local volume profile that I am looking at. Now, pretty simply put, let me hide some of this stuff. Bada boom, bada bing. Now, this is not saying long Bitcoin right now. Like, this was from last night. Like, that post was from down here, right? This is not like FOMO long Bitcoin right now. Like, could we continue back up? Yes, obviously, 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour money flow is coming up. But remember, we are a little bit overbought here. So, again, a little pullback may not be impossible. But the next, logical levels to the upside, in my opinion, these are going to be two very key levels that I'm watching. Now, obviously, this one's already tapped. But if we can flip that golden pocket, very naturally, you're going to expect that 786 to come in. Very similarly to the fact that if you get above that value area low, you're expecting price to eventually get up to that POC and then eventually that value area high. And this is going to be just the basic. I can pull it up on this chart now. Bada boom, bada bing. Current range. Okay, so I'll just pull this. Let me just get this exact same range. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull this real quick, and I'll get rid of this level that we just. Actually, I'm going to leave this because that's going to be part of the key levels, or close to part of the key levels, and I'll pull that same range, right? So we're above that value area low. Next, simply the next key level that I'm going to be looking at now, based off this volume profile that I'm looking at right here, this is going to be. Kind of the next, key levels, hold that value area low. There is a possibility to get up to that POC, flip that POC, come up to the value area high. Just to give this range, this is the range we've been looking at on the channel for quite some time, 56,299 or 56.3 POC value area low. The POC is sitting at 59,290, and then the value area high up here at $61,408. Now, I do want to talk about the level that we're hitting right now is this local golden pocket right here, right? Pulled from this high to the low. Golden pocket, and then this 786 has a beautiful confluence on the POC, right? And it's not just that. I might have to update these daily levels. Let me just pull these daily levels really quickly. Bada boom. Hide the TA, right? So, okay, so that was the first daily, right? Let me go ahead and mark that out. Daily, if you guys are looking for daily levels of support and resistance, I like to use the magnet tool to snap them to the bodies of the candles. And then I will go ahead and grab this next daily right there, label it daily, and then grab both those levels and drag them on into the daily folder. And shout out to anybody who is looking to learn how to trade, guys. We are dropping the first video in our beginner series where I'm going to show you how to set up, learn everything from setting up your first TradingView account all the way to understanding how to read the chart, finding support and resistance, learning about volume profiles. I'm basically going to take all of the tutorials that I've done on the channel, not all of them, but a lot of the tutorials that I've done, the basic kind of beginner tutorials I've done, I'm kind of taking those, revamping them, updating them, and then I'm going to put them all in a playlist called a beginner series. That way, when new people come to the channel or you've been here for quite some time, you could just go back to this beginner series and just go from A to Z so you can get at least a basic grasp of how you could start reading the charts, not only to help you trade, day trade, scout, whatever it is, but also just to get an idea of how to read the chart so you can get better entries on your spot bags, etc. Learning TA and learning how to read a chart is a skill that can continue to pay you out over time, whether you're scalping, day trading, swing trading, investing, whatever it is. This beginner series is just going to be 100% free on the YouTube channel. Get you guys like a surface level update or a surface level breakdown if you just don't know how to read the charts. I'm going to bring you from zero to hero, at least in the beginner kind of section of things. So there you go. Keep a lookout for that. It will be dropping Wednesday, and that first video is going to be a trading view tutorial, how to set up trading view from absolute zero, and how to set up these object trees to organize all your stuff to keep your charts nice and clean, which is a lot more important than a lot of people would think. But continuing on here, right, turn on that daily folder. This was kind of that first major level of resistance or local level of resistance within the volume profile. Bada boom, right? So you have the golden pocket and the daily, and then you also have that POC 786 as well as that daily confluence sitting up there at the POC as well. And then, so very simply put, if we don't, again, maybe we get a little pullback here, but if we are able to get above that golden pocket daily, I would expect that next major zone of resistance to be sitting at around $59,300, maybe even up to the $60,000 psychological level, which is not that far away from that zone. And then if I pull this full Fibonacci retracement, you can see that golden pocket, the golden pocket of the entire move down here is sitting right on the $60,200 it starts at, right? So between, I would say, 59 to 60K is going to be the next stop on Bitcoin if we can flip this next level that we're hitting right now, 59.3, then up to 60. And if you're not paying attention to all the local levels, very simply put, you can go ahead and hide this stuff, right? And just look at this in terms of, let me go ahead and group this stuff together, bada boom, right? And if you're not looking at all this stuff, you can go ahead and hide those local levels, even hide the daily levels as well. And you can just look at this in terms of a volume profile, right? And with the volume profiles, you simply look for shorts at the highs to get back into the range, go to the POC, back to the low. And then once you get to the low, if you can maintain support, you look to go back to the POC, back to the high. And then when you deviate above the high, this is where you want to look for shorts in anticipation of getting stuck under the value area high, accepted back into the range, to the POC, to the low. And then you get the deviation below. And now if you can hold that value area low as support, the next likely place for price to go, Crate and C, that's right, it's going to be that POC, and then flip that POC. You could look to go up to the value area high. It's just the simple, pretty simple volume profile trade here if you're able to get in at the low. So there you go. Now, although you look to hold the value area low, go to the POC, and then go to the value area high, you also have to be aware of those local levels, which obviously I just gave you live on stream. So there you go. So those are going to be the local levels I'm looking at. Maybe we'll look at shorts for shorts on some of these levels. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I don't want to, I'm not going to talk exactly what I'm looking at for those shorts or potential long entries on the way back down. We talk more about that in the premium Discord. But let's see. Yeah, shout out to Tony D. Why does that happen? Why is the Discord link always expired? I notice that anytime I've ever tried to get into any Discord, it tells me like link expired. I feel like it's a really common problem with Discord. What is the deal with that? But yeah, shout out to Tony D. I'm sure he's like a Discord expert. I'm sure he can answer that question. But there you go. Shout out to Crate and C. Says, that's how you POC, children. That's how you do it. Shout out to Crate and C. He said it's a permanent link. It should never expire. Yeah, that's so weird. Yeah, I don't know. I've always had that issue. Like even when I try the links, they're always expired. Every single time they're expired. It's really weird. I don't know if that's like a problem with Discord. I'll figure it out. Yeah, if anyone's going to figure it out, Tony D is the guy to get to the bottom of it. They don't call him Detective Tony for nothing. Let's see. I'm stuck in a short at 56.3. Oh, God. Stuck in a short from 56.3. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. I see it. Yeah. Stuck down here. Well, yeah, I wish not much I can really do, but I will say just, I know this isn't going to help you right now, but just for the most part, I'll be honest, right? Like the value area lows are always going to be key resistance until proven otherwise. But I am always a bit cautious at the shorts at the value area lows, just because really all you have to do is pretty much exactly what we did here, which was flip that value area low to support and then get the bigger move up here. So, yeah, it's always kind of hard, right? And with the money flow and the fresh green dot, right, it was a little more likely for that to break up than down. But yeah, I know that doesn't really help you. But But yeah, hopefully, you can use that information in the next trade to maybe stay out of a short and not get trapped. But listen, even if you know that, you're going to get trapped in short sometimes, get trapped in long sometimes. It's just part of the game. That's why using a stop loss is extremely, extremely important, guys. If you're new here, please, for the love of God, if you're not using stop losses, please start using stop losses. So there you go. That kind of just stop you from being too underwater. Just take the small loss. I know it hurts to see a red trade on your P&L, right? Like you're going for that green trade after green trade after green trade, but that is not as important as people realize. It is at least not as important as risk management, right? I always talk about this. You can literally lose more trades than you win and still be profitable if you are managing the risk. If your winners are bigger than your losers, you don't even need a huge win rate, right? Like you just need to be you need to win more than, you still can. You can lose more than you win, and if you manage your risk correctly, you can literally still be profitable. But you don't need this crazy win rate, right? You just need to manage it. It's way more about risk management and capital preservation than it is about trying to guess where price is going to go 100% and holding that trade as long as you can. That's why I also recommend having many TPs, right? Like multiple TPs within the profile. It's oftentimes what I do. Typically on a regular volume profile, I like to TP. If you get in at the low, I like to TP at the POC, move my stop loss to break even, flip that POC, go back up to the high. That's where I would look for a TP2, right? And then at that moment, right, if you could get that breakout, let's just say you entered in at the bottom of the value area, or last night in the Discord down here on the 90-minute money flow crossover, and your general thought process for this trade is, hey, if I get in down here, I know this is key resistance at the value area low. Maybe you want to take a little off the table, move your stop loss to break even, and then the next stop would be the POC, right? You have to understand you have the local levels as well, but just in general, to keep things simple, the POC is going to be the next area that you might want to take some money off the table. You don't know if you're going to reject there or if you're going to be able to flip it and go to the high, but you could TP2 at the POC, flip the POC, the next TP is going to be up at that value area high, at which point, if things look good, if things look like they're going to rip back to the upside and things are still looking bullish and you think you're going to break out of here, maybe you have high time frame money flow coming up and you think you're going to break out, then you can hold a portion of that trade for more profit. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Moon. Shout out to Moonseller said, just stop STRM. Sturm? I don't know what that means. And says, start a motivational channel. Yo, shout out to Moonseller. That'd be lit. That'd actually be kind of dope. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Maso. This is absolutely key. He says, Frankie, up or down, we don't care. We just need another candle. Absolutely, right? It's not about guessing sniping the bottom and then looking for that next huge move. We just need volatility, right? I can make $1,000 on this move just like I can make $1,000 on this move and this move and this move, right? As a trader, especially with the short-term trades, which I've actually been quite conservative with, right? My frequency of trades has gone very much down recently, just in this very choppy trading environment, right? Like even the volume profiles are a little bit wonked out, right? Like you're just kind of like go back to the POC, you kind of grind back to the low, but then it's just like this very, very choppy situation. So I've been really conservative with all of my scalp trades and my day trades. Like I haven't even really been taking as many setups as I typically do, just because like a lot of them don't have a lot of confluence, right? I actually did take a little short position here at the golden pocket as we were looking at some order flow confirmations in the Discord. So I have taken that, but to be quite honest with you, like any shorter term trade I take, I'm taking with the idea of it being much lower probability than normal. So I am just being very careful, right? Stop just above that wick. Again, not saying short Bitcoin right now because we're rejecting here. I had taken my position higher up. I did not take it here. I took it up here, right? So it's not just like FOMO short. I want to be very clear about that. But yeah, very tight risk on a lot of these trades. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Esteban said, this is the motivational channel. Shout out to Esteban. I mean, hey, I'll take that. I love that. If I can motivate one person, right? And I always say this, right? It's not that, there's nothing special about me, right? Like I was talking to the premium Discord about this earlier today. I got wrecked more than anybody in here. I can almost guarantee you. If you think you've blown up more accounts than me, I'd love to know how many accounts you've blown up. Let me know in the chat because I guarantee you it's not as much as I have. And there was a time I was talking about there was a time where, I was starting with so little money when I was trading because I needed to pay bills and stuff, right? So like I couldn't really put a ton of money on a trade. I couldn't really I was that risky, but I couldn't responsibly put that much risk on my trades, right? Because like I only had a very small account, guys. Like if you think that you are starting with a small amount of money and it's not worth trying, I would speak against that, right? Like I would just go completely against that because I started with small accounts too. I would have $100 in an account, right? And even if you have $20 in an account, you're going to get eaten up on fees, but you'll still be able to learn how to trade, right? You'll still be able to kind of learn how to play around, but just play around with a responsible amount of money. But I was talking to them about the premium Discord about how, if I could make $50 on a trade back in the day when I was first starting, that was like really good for me. I was like, wow, this isn't going to change my life, but I just made half a day's work, right? A little less than half a day's work, sitting at my desk on my own time, understanding how the market, like it felt good to just take $50 out of the market. Now, 90% of the time, I would just let it go run back down to zero, right? Because I've made all the mistakes that everyone else makes, right? But now, if I'm up $100 or even like $300, it's like, and I get stopped out at $300, it's almost like, I'm like, I was kind of like a break-even trade, it felt like, right? So just understand that when $50 used to be like a big win to me, and now if I'm at $300, it's like, it's almost like, it's kind of sad because I'm just kind of like, it like doesn't do anything, which in a way is kind of nice because it's like you're emotionally detached from the money. But just understand that, right? I didn't start with a ton of money. I didn't like go to school for trading, right? I don't think that's a real thing, at least for this. And if you were starting at that small point or that small starting point, just understand you can do this. You can do this. If I can do it, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I'm definitely not saying it's going to be easy. I'm probably one of the only traders out there that will tell you this. You're not going to get rich overnight. It's going to be extremely hard. You are trying to learn something that 98% of people lose at. Right? Maybe it's 95%, whatever it is, right? And even if you're good at the TA and you could guess where price is going to go every single time, there is still a good chance that you're going to lose money because you're not managing the trade correctly. It's 90% psychology and risk management. You still need a good strategy, but it's once if you can figure it out and you could start to make money, $200 a day is all you need to make a yearly salary and probably replace a lot of people's jobs. Now you got to pay taxes on that and stuff too, so you got to pay attention to that. But yeah, $200 a day. Like you can make $200 a day trading with not a lot of money. I am still, even though we got this dump to the downside, I am still up 8K. I'm not logged into BingX. Maybe I can pull it up on my phone. I am still up 8 to 9K, once up 15K. On a trade with $675 in margin. That's not the first time that's happened, right? So you don't need like $100,000 to make money trading, especially if you're using leverage. But obviously, it's very risky, so be careful out there. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at here on Bitcoin, guys. Those are the key levels. And again, a little overbought here on the medium hourlies, money flow crossing over into the green, but as these VWAPs come down, maybe we can cool off, right? But as long as we hold the most key level of support right now is going to be the value area low at 56,287. If we can hold that level as support, we could potentially anticipate price to just respect this volume profile and continue the journey, right? So maybe we cool off a little bit, put in a higher low, and then continue up to higher prices because the money flow in the medium hourly timeframes is actually not looking too bad. And remember, we also have the daily green dot. We also have the 2-day looking to print a green dot. But this does not negate the fact that Bitcoin is in danger, right? So before we move on, I do just want to talk about this a little bit. I've talked about this a lot recently, and I'm glad I have. But just understand here, guys. In my own personal opinion, we've talked a lot about the looser monetary policy incoming and how that may not cause an instant jump up for Bitcoin. Like we're at a very, very critical moment right now. A lot of people are feeling massive pain right now. A lot of people are absolutely hating this price action, right? And a lot of people, especially people who bought up here, right? Like this does not feel good for them. And a lot of people ask me, is the bear market here? And I cover this a lot, but I just want to reiterate this. There are so many things pointing in the right direction right now. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm calling for 100K tomorrow or the next day or right after the rate cuts. This is not going to be the case likely, right? Because, once they cut rates, we may even see more volatility. And I was talking to the premium Discord earlier. My sentiment right now is chop and volatility, whether it's a pump to the upside, a dump back down, or we just wiggle sideways, or we get a big dump. There's going to likely be volatility leading up to and after the Fed cuts rates, right? But over time, eventually when that kicks in, right, this is not an instant thing. It's not like they cut rates and then everything just moons. It's not typically what happens. We talked about back in 2020, I believe actually, shout out to Creighton C, fact checked me here. They cut rates in early March, right? And if you were going by like, oh my God, they cut rates, and sure, shortly after that you see a big pump, but we kind of just went sideways for a really long time. And even here, right? Like if you're looking at Bitcoin on a daily time frame and you're looking at this price action, you're thinking like, oh man, like what happened? The Fed cuts rates, like, oh, it's the bull run. And then you see this massive dump. Like people are probably freaking out about this as well. Like, oh my God, is this the bear market? So just understand that this is likely not going to be an instant reaction if we get when we get the rate cuts, right? But whether we just rip up from here or we get the big dump to the downside, just understand, I want to reiterate that we have these weekly naked points of controls down below. These are very, very, very key levels. $47,480 is the next major level to the downside. So if we do what we were talking about in the beginning of the stream here, and we go for that 786 retracement again, and we do indeed see that money flow in the red on the 3-day play out, where we get the lackluster push to the upside, a lower high, and a rejection back down to come down to lower prices, 47,480 is that weekly naked point of control. This is also in line with the high that we made here on the BTC, on the Bitcoin ETF approval, right? So we do have structural support here, weekly naked point of control, on top of the fact that this is also, let me go ahead and hide this stuff as well. This is also the macro. Where is it? Bada boom, bada bing. Where are we at? Where's the macro VP? This is also the macro POC, right? This is the macro POC when pulled from the 2021 bull market high, right? That POC is sitting just at about 47.4, right on that naked point of control, right on the area, which we knew was a high likelihood of a rejection because that POC was there, and now we could potentially come back down and test that level. It is very hard to say if this is going to be the case or not. The 3-day money flow is definitely calling for that, right? The 3-day money flow is calling for the lackluster move and the dump back to the downside, but this is your key level, 47,480, 47,14, 47.4, we'll call it, right? Now, we do have some other local levels in here as well, right? Like sometimes you can catch support on the wicks, or we may just if you take a look at the 51 to 52K support that we kind of bounced off of before, maybe we come down here, we slip that range a little bit again, similar to here. But we have these key levels below. And to be quite honest with you guys, when we came down to the 51 to 52K resistance support, which a lot of people did not like me talking about, but we did wind up hitting it, right? If we did come back down there and we lose it, this is kind of not the strongest level of support. And this is something we've been talking about forever. This is not the strongest level of support. If we were to see some crazy volatility and a bigger move to the downside, the real stronger level is this $40,000 consolidation. We cover this almost every day. Not only do you have the macro POC with the macro POC with the naked point of control on the weekly, but we also have the $40,000 support levels that I've been looking at with this naked volume profile sitting between 44.3 and about $41,000. This is also somewhat of a macro golden pocket as well. So if we come back down there and test, I am not calling for a bear market at that point, right? Like if we get down there and things look horrific and it looks like we're going back down, then we can make a call, right? But if we got some kind of quick drop down to some of these levels, whether it's the POC, the value area, whatever it is, zoom out. I always say this, when in doubt, please, for the love of God, zoom out. It feels like a bear market if you bought up here. But if you bought down here, we are in a healthy uptrend, right? And if we came down to that golden pocket, we could still maintain bullish market structure on the higher time frames to continue the big move up. And if we see some crazy volatility, which is not uncommon, right? If you were looking at the cycle theory here, you'd be like, oh my God, this is so scary. Is this over? Is this bull market's over? But what happened? These people literally sold at the worst time. I've been covering this since I started my channel. Please be careful, because you do not want to be, and I'm not telling you to hold on to your bags. If you want to panic sell your bags, if we go down to 40K, please, for the love of God, do what you deem necessary, right? I could be wrong. I will be wrong again. I have been wrong in the past. We've been kind of on a roll here on the live stream, but I will be wrong again. I'll be the first person to tell you that. So, but I will just say, this is going to be a very, very important part of the cycle, in my opinion. I think we will come back here and either be like, oh, that's where we really started taking off, or, oh my God, that's where everyone got spooked out of the market before the real move. Very similar to 2020. Now, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to happen. We'd have to get some black swan event to see that. But just to be clear, as I've been saying, for the past few weeks, for the past few months, honestly, ever since we've been coming here, if we got that dump down to 42K, 45K, 47K, I am not calling for a bear market. I know a lot of people out there are super bearish on this stuff, and they're like, oh my God, the bear market's here. We're going to zero. That may be the case, but that is not what I'm seeing on the charts, right? 3-day money flow, definitely suspicious, right? Because if we come down there, right, even though that money flow is calling for lower prices and a potential dip down here, I would just see this as expected, right? Now, if we didn't really start seeing the charts shape up down here and we were going to go lower, that would be somewhat concerning in my opinion. But yeah, very key levels. 47.5, 47.4, 47.4 to 47.5, very key level of support. And if we see that, I don't think the bull market is over. Just to be clear. I've said this many times. And again, 161 days after the halving back here, I don't remember exactly what day the halving was, but it was 161 days before we really started seeing the parabolic move. We are super close to 161 days, right, after the halving. If I pull up the cycle chart here, right, 161 days would bring us right to the end of September. We've covered this, right? Right to the end of September. The end of Rectember and the beginning of what? October, right? Now, again, we've had bearish Octobers. We've had bullish Septembers, right? So it doesn't mean that it's 100% chance. But seeing all this stuff line up is there's not a lot of stuff pointing towards a massive bear market. I know there's a monthly bear div, but I've already talked about this many times, why I don't think that is that worrisome. So that is what I'm looking at, guys, not only in the long term, but also in the short term, those local levels. We'll have to see what happens here. Again, I'm not shocked to see this little continued pullback, but you guys have the key levels where we could look for bounces, potential continuations up to higher prices. In the medium term, 2, 3, and 4 hour money flow coming up. Could continue the local trend. October, let's go. Shout out to Shekel. Shout out to Shekel Goblin. Hopefully we could... hopefully we can just get October to bring us up. Hopefully the rate cuts do what we hope. But again, like I wouldn't expect just like rate cuts, instant up time. I don't know if that's likely to be the case. Same thing with the ETF approval, right? People like ETF approved. We're gonna launch, right? And then we got a 20% dump, and people were saying the same thing. Is this the bear market? Was the ETF news? Right? Everyone's saying, oh my God, we're going to break out to 100K, ETF approved, 20% dump. People are like, oh my God, is this the bear market? And we were saying the same thing. Guys, zoom out. This is not a bear market. This is just a 20% pullback in a bull market, right? Same thing, right? Like this is we've seen 34% dump in a bull market is not as uncommon as people realize, right? 30% pullback. 26% pullback, right? Like even here, even though I think this was the legitimate top of the bull market for many reasons, but like this was like a 50% dump and we still made a new all-time high. Again, I think this was somewhat of a fluke, but these dumps in an uptrend like are not uncommon, right? Like 20%, 30%, even 35% is like not super crazy. So just keep that in mind. Like even here, right? Like what was this? 23% dump. Like, oh my God, we're going to 10K, we're going to 13K, we're going to 14K, and we just continued back up, right? So just keep all this in mind. But let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to Flatsmack said, heck yeah, October, don't miss out. Shout out to you, brother. We got Tangi in the chat, says, drop a motivational quote right now. Give him one, Frankie. Motivational quote. Ooh, I don't want to drop any garbage. I don't want to drop garbage. I'll hit you one on the Frankie fake out. I'll hit you with a motivational quote. And I don't say that to be like, look at me. Like, look at me. You guys should be motivated by me. But I like motivation. Motivation has gotten me to where I am. Like sometimes quotes are powerful. Quotes are powerful. I actually just dropped a quote, not a motivational quote, but a quote about something else. I won't even bring it up. But anyway, shout out to Creighton C. I will drop a quote here in a minute. Shout out to Creighton C. Maybe should we do that like Motivational Monday? I'll drop like a motivational quote for the Mafia. I'll drop like a business quote for you. I didn't invent this one. I would never pretend I invented something I didn't. I got this from somewhere. I don't know the guy's name, but I didn't invent this. But when it comes to running a business, it says, I've said this before on the stream, if you're doing it right, your marketing will create more value than your paid service or product ever will. And I live by that on this YouTube channel. Our marketing, right, would be this YouTube channel. I try to give as much free value as I possibly can on this YouTube channel. And I do think that probably is going to help more people than my paid Discord or my Frankie Candles University coming to a theater near you at some point. More than that will ever help anybody, right? So if you're doing it right, your marketing should help more people than your paid product or service ever will. I heard that and I was like, that is the model for my business. So there you go. And Giver's Gain, that's a good one too. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Said the quad witching is the 20th. Those are generally large market rotations, quarterly pivots, and BTC has a history or triggers near them lines up with 161 days. I do think that this area in the market will be an extremely pivotal moment to look back on. Whether it's like, oh my God, that's where everybody got washed out of the market, or oh my God, that's where everyone thought it was going to dump and it was going to rip, or oh my God, that's where everyone wasn't expecting a bear market and some kind of crazy black swan event happened and everything went to zero. I do think, again, this being that big drop being the most unlikely one of them all, but I do think this is the time. If you have made it this far, it's just like the bottom of the bear market, what we were saying down here. If you have made it this far, do not give up now because light is very likely right around the corner. And it's like if you made it through this boring chop and you're back after your summer break from the charts and you are sitting at this being like, oh my God, my bags are down. My alts that I bought up here are down. This is boring price action. This is probably the most important part for many people because this is probably going to be where a lot of people get scared out of the market if we dump because everyone's calling for a bear market. And I just think it's going to be very, very pivotal. So I just want to say that. I am not selling my spot bags if we come down between $47,000 and $45,000. I would see that as the biggest opportunity ever, just like we should have been looking at in 2020. Now, I did not panic sell here, but I did not buy the dip like I wish I could have. So yeah, like this is a very real thing, right? Like you're like, oh my God, I'm locked in my house. I literally like can't buy stuff at the store. Everything's sold out. Like this is a very real thing. Is this ever going to go back up? Like is the world going to end? Like if you remember when that first happened, this whole thing down here in 2020, right? A very real thing, right? Especially at first before like all the information was out there. It's like, what is going on? But anyway, shout out to, hang on one second, I think I missed a super chat. Bada boom, shout out to Captain Kurt. Thank you for the super chat. Said happy birthday, Gen Z. Yo, it's Gen Z's birthday. Happy birthday, Gen Z. Congratulations on being the ripe age of 22. I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming you're 22 off absolutely no evidence. Shout out to Gen Z. Happy birthday, bro. Wish Gen Z happy birthday if you have not already. But yeah, let's go pumped over. Let's go, Mr. T Crypto. Let's go pumped over, baby. Yeah, we're all going to make it except for the paper hands. Shout out to Flat Smack. Let's go. BRB got to finish work. Shout out to Gen Z working on his birthday. Shout out to the boss, bro. Shout out to you, man. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Will we fill the CME gap today? Where is that CME gap? Let's check it. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Yeah, which CME gap? I don't know. Let me know which one you're talking about, and I will try to take a look at it for you. This is kind of wonk. That one's filled. Yeah, let me know which one you're talking about. Pull up the CME gap indicator. Bada boom. Shout out to anybody who's looking for a CME gap indicator. I highly recommend this one. I don't know who made this. I don't know who it is. I'm not associated. I just use it. It is CME by Anchi, I think it is. Let's see. CME Gap BTC Anchi 1991. Shout out to you, bro. I cannot believe there's only, I think that's the downloads. Only 562 people use this. So much better and easier than going back to the CME chart, in my opinion. Again, no affiliation with that guy. We are born 1 year apart, though, if that was his 1991 was his birth year. Anyway, shout out to Alonzo. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for getting that Frank Candles membership. I appreciate you, bro. 52 to 54. Let's see. 52 to 54, bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, I guess, is that the gap? 52 to 54, why am I not seeing that here? Oh, I see, maybe it's this one. Let's see, 52 to 54, let's see. If I pull this, golden pocket, 786 retracement, you could go for that 786 retracement, come fill the gap potentially. I mean, I will say if you get a bigger drop here and you look for a long down, yeah, maybe. Hard to say, right? Like most CME gaps get filled, but it's not 100% certainty, right? A lot of people think that it's just a guarantee that they're going to get filled. That is not the case, right? Most of them do get filled, but most is much different than all, right? So yeah, I guess you're talking about that. Yeah, this gap here. It's pretty small, to be honest. Not that I don't know if that makes really that big of a difference, but yeah, you could see, right? Gap, fill, back down, right? Let's like find like, right? Gap, filled it, and then you come down. Here's your gap. Well, that got filled as well. So yeah, like most of the gaps do wind up getting filled. But it's not 100% of them, right? Like if you go down, you probably have gaps, probably gaps down at like $3,000 that never got filled. So just keep that in mind. But most of them do get filled. All right, let's continue on. 70% chance within the first two trading days are getting filled. Yeah, I think that's right. If you Google it. Shout out to Steven Sansbury, said, great show as usual. Smash them likes. Shout out to Steven. I appreciate you, bro. Smash that like button if you guys are finding any kind of value in this content. If you've learned something, if we helped you predict the direction of Bitcoin, which you should never just be trying to 100% predict what's going to happen. But if I taught you anything, please smash that like button. Push out this free content to more people. and grow the Mafia into a more unstoppable force than we already are. But let's go ahead and jump into some of these altcoins, guys. Drop some alts in the chat. Rob the Crypto Snob, let's do like 2 or 3 requests. We'll do a quick drop in on the altcoins, and then, and then we'll move on. Shout out to Calvin 4K. It says the lowest CME gap is 9.7 and 3.5. Shout out to you, bro. He was like, did you know we were gonna look at that? He was like ready with that info. I knew there was one down at like 3K that we have never filled. Okay, so let's take a look at Solana. I will also take a look at Ethereum, guys. Now, if we look at Ethereum, actually take a look at this chart. I'll get rid of these local levels real quick. Like very simply put, guys, as you know, the levels that we were looking at on Ethereum were 2 major value areas. Value area number 1 was coming from back here, right? This is kind of that November, December, January kind of consolidation. This is very similar to the $40,000 consolidation range on Bitcoin, right? I'll just look at the CME gap, CME exchange here. Very similar to this $40,000, November, December, same kind of area of consolidation, right? What happened on ETH? We got the 3-day money flow crossover into the red, which actually did come much more into the red than Bitcoin, and we broke down into that key level of support where, again, remember, that was just very simply the next area of balance, right? Price is always seeking fair value. We have the main range sitting up here, right? We also have some fire spider lines up there. Let me just double check there's no emergency going on. Oh my God, it's Mrs. Candles. And okay, she sent me an Instagram reel. Mrs. Candles, I'm talking to the Candle Mafia. I can't go on Instagram right now. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. She's back from her trip, guys. Thank God. I was missing those hand sniffs. Mrs. Candles, come say hi to the Mafia. I don't think she can hear me. She's far away. We have this main range up here, guys. And remember, the market is always seeking fair value. We have the fair value within these ranges, right? And then when we have imbalance where sellers overpower or buyers overpower, one side overpowers the other, right? Sellers overpower buyers or buyers overpower sellers. In this case, sellers overpower the buyers, gave us imbalance to the downside. At that point, once you lose that range, where are you looking for price to go? Well, price has 2 options. Well, technically 3. It can either create new balance, shout out to the sneakers, or it is more than likely going to seek out previous balance. So very simply put, when we were up here, this is how we came up with the idea of, hey, if we lose this range, where is price likely to go? It's likely to go revisit this area of previous balance, right? So there you go. And what happened, right? We come to a lower time frame, very simply put, we lost that. We got imbalance to the downside. We lost this range. Where did we go? We shot right into this area of balance. Where'd you get support? Right at the value area low. What happened after that? You got to move to the POC and then up to the value area high, where you then kind of got stuck underneath there. But eventually, you deviated above. I'll get rid of this line, right? And you just start respecting this range. You deviate above. You get stuck back inside the range. Reject the value area high. Where is price likely to go at this point? Next likely place is going to be the POC and the value area low. And now we're getting a bounce on that value area low. And we are actually currently, on Ethereum at least, above that POC. You get above that POC, or above it, flip it to support, and now we are potentially off to the value area high. Now, something really important to realize here, we're also flipping this monthly level. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Guys, do you think Mrs. Candles went out to New York and to go see my niece she went to North Carolina, then New York. So Mrs. Candles out there gallivanting around the country, just slaving away on the charts here. I'm just kidding. I actually like staying here with you guys. She's like, come with me. I'm like, no. But anyway, do you think she just thinks she's too cool now? She's like out there. She travels the world now. No, I guess travels to 2 different states, and she just... Mrs. Candle's got to come show some love. Render, shout out to WT. We could try to take a look at Render as well. She's not going to answer. She's too cool for me. Let's see. Come on. Oh, wow. She's going to F you butt me like that? Shout out to Pew Pew. Says, why do you call her Mrs. Candles? If you haven't married her yet. Shout out to Pew Pew. I don't know. Miss Candles sounds weird. Mrs. Candles, I don't know. Mrs. Candelabra. I don't know. But yeah, I guess that is factually correct. Is she also Italian? Yes, she is at least partially Italian. I don't think she's as much Italian as I am. I'm like 89% Italian, according to my the people I gave my DNA away to. But yeah, apparently it's really rare to be like over 90% of something. Apparently that's super rare. My dad came back as like 98% Italian, and they were like, it's actually, you're part of like 0.01% of people who are that purebred. But yeah, anyway, let's continue on here. As we stay above these levels, guys, we could potentially anticipate a move up to that value area high at about 25.60. However, we do have to understand that there are going to be some local levels we have to watch, right? Oftentimes, it is a journey to the value area high and not just a straight shot. A lot of times it is a straight shot. However, not all the time. Show each out of the Crypto Billy. But yeah, so if we stay above this level, right, we are going to anticipate that move up, but we have to keep a look at these local levels, and those local levels are going to be most intensely coming in around $24.26 up to about $2,500. Now, if we pull our volume profile, you can see these fib levels are also confluent with this local volume profile, right? So I do just want to point that out. 24.26 up to, all the way up to about 25.26, right? Like these are all going to be key levels. So golden pocket coming in between 24.25 and 24.40. And then your POC is sitting at about, so I'll mark these out as kind of zones, right? POC golden pocket sitting between 24.63 and 24.22. And then your value area high, 786, is sitting between 25.29 and 25.01, right? So these are kind of the local levels, and obviously you can pull some more local fib levels as well, right? You can pull this local level like Hayes, golden pocket, but you can see that 786 is confluent with these levels. So really, these are kind of the resistance I would see above on the way, right? Like maybe get a little dump there, come within this profile. You could also use this as context, but for the most part, if you're not looking at all those local levels, I would just be looking at price in terms of these this volume profile here. Other than that, 2-hour money flow about to cross over into the green, 3-hour money flow coming up, 4-hour money flow also coming up, daily green dot is printing, and then obviously your 90-minute money flow was kind of the thing that started the move up. Actually not as explosive as Bitcoin, doesn't seem, but that money flow crossover could potentially point to more upside. But yeah, those are the levels I'd be looking at. Other than that, looking very similar to the Bitcoins. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Thank you for the altcoin list. I appreciate you, brother. I'm going to replace that pinned comment. Shout out to Eugen Sky says, I eat a lot of pizza, so am I an Italian? I mean, I'll be honest. Does make you partially a very Italian. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Sui, okay. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to Masnoka said, so she's your cousin. Shout out to Masnokas. I don't think that's how that works. Shout out to Masnokas. But let's see. Alpha Vision says, Frankie, I want a BTC giveaway on CF channel. I want to put it on a new account and trade it till I can buy Market Cipher. What is the first trade I should look into? Well, shout out to Alpha Vision. Congrats on the BTC giveaway. And very hard question to answer. But I will say, for me, well, my most current trade right now was a little scalp short here from this local golden pocket that is not showing. Let me, do I have it here? I don't have the local levels up anymore, but if you scrub back to the beginning of the stream, you will see the local golden pockets actually playing out a bit. Let me actually check that real quick. Bada boom, not meant to be a huge trade. Remember, the medium time frame money flow is coming up, right? So not going to be something that we're looking at as a new all-time high type trade. Bada boom, yeah, up 5.3%. I'm not logged into Femex right now, but up 5.3%. Maybe I could show it here. People will be like, he's faking it. I don't know. I always get nervous showing my phone. It freaks me out. You know what? I'll just log in later. I'll just show it here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can't show here. But there you go. Bada boom, bada bing. Let me see. Can I just pull it up like that? There we go. Okay, 5.1%, right? Bada boom. And you can screenshot that entry, current price. You can see all that stuff. But yeah, there we go. And then a notification pops up. I got nervous. It was just a Femex notification. But there you go. That trade is up just a little bit here. Maybe I'll log in at the end so I can pull it up on stream to actually show you guys. But yeah, let's continue on here. So, but yeah, shout out to Masnokas. Like, in my opinion, right, like my short, I guess my entry was, let's see here. Bada boom. 57.540. 57.5. So yeah, like just right about up here at the top of this wick. Bada boom, right? So not like necessarily the place that I would look to enter a short, but that's my most recent trade that I just put in, which is probably the first local scalp that I put in quite some time. But yeah, hard to say. You gotta wait for the setups. But if you scrub back to the beginning, you'll see all those key levels that I'll be looking at for my next potential long position. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on, guys. I want to take a look at Solana here, as Solana is simply just respecting the range that we've been looking at, right? Very simply put, stretch this out, bada boom, right? Come on down to that value area low, 786 retracement. Hold this blue box. That is where we are looking at. Hey, hold above that value area low. We could potentially look to come up to the POC and then the value area high. Not really too much to update here. I will say this, 4-hour money flow is looking pretty nice. And I was talking to the premium Discord about this earlier today. If you can get that bullish divergence with the lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves, you could potentially look for, sometimes this does make for a pretty strong bottom, right? And then if you could reclaim the value area low, look to get a push up to your POC and your value area high. So yeah, that's kind of what I would be looking at. Other than that, like not looking too bad. I do think we could potentially continue up, but these are kind of the major levels that I'd be looking at, right? We held that 786. This was, part of the big reason why we were looking at this zone as a potential bounce. Zone was that we had the golden pocket 786 as well as the value area low sitting there as well. Came back into the zone, bada boom, put in the divs, and you get the bounce. So yeah, next key level of resistance is going to be up here at the POC, sitting at $143. And shout out to whoever won the Solana giveaway last Friday. Got $150 of Solana. So they went from having no Solana to an entire Solana plus some. And yeah, shout out to them. I don't know who won it though. All right, let's see. Shout out to M. Koo. Shout out to you. Said hello, Frankie. Please, what are the indicators? Value area high, value area low, POC, and trading view. Thank you. Shout out to M. Yes, this indicator, or I guess we'd call it a tool. I guess you can call it an indicator. But this is a fixed range volume profile. Very simply put. So you come onto the trading view and type in. Actually, no, you don't type it in the indicators. Come on over here. Come to your tools here, right? Your projection tools, and you click on fixed range volume profile, and then that allows you to select a range of price action. It analyzes the volume transacted within the selected price range, and then it gives you this nice volume profile, which is a huge part of the way I do my technical analysis. I'm not going to go super deep into it just because I cover it so much on the channel, but go ahead and check out the videos on the channel if you want to learn more about that. We have tons of free tutorials on the channel. I also teach it here for free every single weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So M, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you turn on notifications so you don't miss any of these streams. All right, so that's kind of what I'm looking at on Solana. We can see if that money flow comes back up, but again, to be quite honest with you guys, a little bit overbought here, right? So like not impossible to get like little pullbacks here, but again, like even your medium time frame money flow would indicate that the local trend will continue to the upside, right? Not a guarantee, but that's what the money flow will say. And again, daily green dot, same old song and dance as Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and continue on and take a look at Render, or Runder, as some people like to say. I don't think anyone says that. Take a sip of the Aztecian alien scam water here. Shout out to Super U. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. We'll take a look at Render. All right. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. This is old, I believe. Get rid of this. Okay, so very simply put, let's take a look here. Take a look at the daily. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Daily money flow on Render is not looking horrible here. Starting to curve back up. Take a look at the 16-hour. 12-hour. Okay, 6-hour. Yeah, money flow all looking the same, right? 4-hour money flow looks pretty good, but remember, like this is an overbought situation, right? So I would not be surprised if we get a little cool off before we continue the trend to the upside. But this money flow do be looking pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. So keep an eye on that. 8-hour money flow crossover into the green. This VWAP, look at this VWAP. Gee, willikers. Wild VWAP. But yeah, money flow looks pretty good here on the 3 and the 4 hour. So this could easily give you continuation up. But I would not be surprised if you get a little pullback. Next 4 hour red dot, if you get it, that would probably be what I look for the pullback. Key levels of support that I would be looking at. I'll get rid of this blue box. And again, right, like what do we come down to? Macro golden pocket from the full move down here to $3.33. Pulled to the high here, came back down to that golden pocket, also confluent with your value area low and your POC, making it a very key level. And then you wind up actually getting some divergences, very similar to Solana, right? Lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves, money flow coming up, right? So I would not be surprised if that pump continues. However, I wouldn't be surprised if you get a pullback first, right? Now, if you get the pullback, where could we potentially look for a bounce? Well, I would say, maybe we can get rid of this blue box just to clean things up. I'll get rid of this fib to clean things up, and we'll just look at the volume profile. I would potentially be looking at some local fibs, right? I would look at this, right? Golden pocket value area high confluence, right about here. Bada boom. So if we pull back, really this whole zone's going to be pretty important, right? Because if we come back down, you could look to hold that value area high to put in the higher low, retest that value. Sometimes you do like to come down, test those value area highs before continuing up. If we get stuck under this value area high, and that, I'll be honest, this money flow looks good, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if the continuation up happens. But you have that value area high is going to be key for 2 reasons. Number one, it could be the place where you put the higher low in. It could also be where you get the potential rejection down to lower prices, potentially looking at the POC and the value area low, right? Just keeping that same kind of volume profile theory intact. Now, if I still, with the way money flow looks, I would still be willing to look for a higher low at this lower fib, right? Golden pocket sitting in the 476 to 471 zone. And then also down here at the 786 coming in at 461. Yeah, so this is like kind of the next zone I would like. These are, I know they're kind of big zones, but these would be like the 2 major areas if we get the pullback that I would be looking for bounces at. Just very simply put. So there you go. Money flow looks pretty good though. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to Sky says, bada boom, bada bing. Bada bang this week to 70K. Let's go. Hopefully we can get up to that 70K level. That would be nice. But I will say one thing that is holding you back from 70K, to be quite honest with you. When we're looking at the $60,002 to $60,006 range here on this golden pocket retracement from the high to the low, I do want to point out, pull up that current range here. This is confluent with the value area low of the macro range. So if we approach that level, this is a key level, 60 to 61K, or I should say 60,000. Yeah, about 60,000 to about 61K. Even 62,350. Like, this is the big zone to get above, right? Because if we want to get accepted into this range, we got to flip that 786. So if we want to go up to 70K, we still have some work to do here. I'm not saying it's impossible. Shout out to, I forget who said it, but shout out to you, or shout out to Sky. Not impossible, but we do have a little bit of work to do here, right? Because if we're going to reject, if that 3-day money flow is going to play out as it has helped us predict all of these drops to the downside, this higher time frame money flow, if we do see it continue with the big rejections, this could be that next big area to get a move to the downside. But it's nice because if we can get above that level and start flipping some of these key fibs, that could point up to the higher prices. So we do have work to do, but not impossible. Not impossible. We'll have to see what happens. It's an if this, then that statement. But shout out to Sky. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay. Shout out to Mr. Z said, hey, Frankie, besides the daily green dot and the 90-minute money flow crossover, is there any other time frames you like to do that with? Thanks in advance. Shout out to Mr. Z. Yes, there is. Yes, there are many different time frames you can use it I did not invent this strategy. I think CryptoFace made this. But yeah, it is actually overlooking at Market Cipher for quite some time. You do start to see correlations, right? But daily and 90-minute money flow, daily green dot with the 90-minute money flow crossover is one big time frame I like to use it with. Those are the like two time frames. But another one I like to really use it for is the 8-hour and the 30-minute. And those are kind of the two big ones that I like to look for. Another one is the 4-hour and 15-minute. Those are kind of the three big ones that I like to look at. So there you go. Shout out to Jordy. What is going on, bro? Said I got my 54K fill, baby. Shout out to Jordy. Let's go, Jordy. Congrats, bro. Jordy, you've been killing it. I feel like you're always crushing it, bro. So shout out to you, bro. Congrats on that 54K fill. Let's get it. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you and always love seeing you tuned into these live streams. Let's see. Shout out to Booger. Says, if you only had the money for one tool, which would you choose? TradingView, Bookmap, etc., or use the free exchange charts and join trading group, leaning towards TradingView for the other indicators. Yeah, if I was just starting out and I only had money for one thing, I would definitely get the cheapest version of TradingView. That's kind of like the bare bones. Bookmap is great. I don't think, especially as a beginner, that is going to be, if that's the only thing you're going to have, or the only kind of, I think having the cheapest version of TradingView and having access to all of your time frames is going to be more important than than looking at Bookmap, especially as a beginner, right? Like Bookmap is a more advanced thing to like look at like order flow, I guess you would call it. It's like a weird way of displaying order flow. But yeah, my natural kind of recommendation would be start off with TradingView. Very simple. Like if you don't have like a paid version of TradingView, I wouldn't even be looking at Bookmap, to be honest, right? It's almost like when people ask me, should I get Exo charts? You know, if you were saying Bookmap or Exo charts, like that would be a different, or like Bookmap or Trading Light or Bookmap, or that would be two different things. But like definitely start off with TradingView, because that's gonna be like, just chronologically, then you would want to fill in, start with TradingView, master TradingView, and then move on to the more advanced stuff. Absolutely. So there you go. Let's see. Okay, let's continue on here. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, let's continue on and take a look at VeChain. Shout out to VeChain. Have not taken a look at VeChain in quite some time. But yeah. Let's see. Let's take a look at the daily. Daily green dot is confirmed. 90-minute money flow crossover into the green. Shout out to Jordy. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Said you helped me to be confident. 24 win rate is 76%, which is super high. Shout out to Jordy. Let's go. Congratulations, bro. And I'm glad that I was able to help you in any way, shape, or form. Should we throw some money for our boy? I think we should throw some money here. I think we should throw some money. We'll throw some hungies. We'll throw some hungies for Jordy. Let's go. Bing bong. Shout out to Jordy. The fact that I was able, we'll throw some 20s for you too. Woo! Let's go. Mrs. Candle's only been back for a day, and she's already going to be picking up some cash. But yeah, Jordy, the fact that I was able to help you out in any way, shape, or form, shout out to you, bro. It makes me feel amazing. It's literally why I have this YouTube channel. Let's see. Shout out to Mikey. 20 said, Frankie, great show as usual. Shout out to you. He said, Frankie and crew, catch up tomorrow. Shout out to Mikey. We'll see you tomorrow, my friend. Said lost a lot on Kaiji. Shout out to Jordy. Can't win them all, bro. Can't win them all. So you put a laughing face, so it shows me that you probably took that win. Took it on the chin. I don't know. Didn't seem like it bothered you too much. Can't win them all, bro. But congrats, bro. I'm really happy for you. I really am. But yeah, let's continue on here. Yeah, 2-hour, 3-hour money flow. You know, all this looks the same on the altcoins for the most part, guys. Again, short-term pullbacks are not really going to be super uncommon in a situation like this where you're super overbought. But that money flow, you know, very naturally you'd anticipate somewhat of a higher low and a continuation to the upside, whether it's this fib, the full from the low to the high, or this local fib here. You know, the continuation higher is going to be more likely based off the money flow, especially if you get the crossover into the green. Other than that, you know, in the macro, you're still in your like larger volume profile. If we get the bigger breakdown here, you know, key level still sitting here at this value area low at 0.01687. So yeah, that would be your key level, kind of on the higher time frames, like just still watching this larger volume profile, right? Get above the high, get stuck in the range, back to the low, deviate, hold the low, back to the PLC, back to the high, wound up breaking out. And then once you come back in here, you're looking at this as your guide to where price is likely to go next. But yeah, for the most part, I would think locally, you probably have a decent shot of continuing up, even if you pull back short term. Next key level of major resistance, in my opinion, would be sitting here on VeChain sitting right here. Pretty big zone, but sitting between 0.02491 and 0.02322. So there you go. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Jordy. He said, I hope you're all doing well. This is the best space in crypto. Shout out to Jordy. We 100% do have the best community out there in the crypto space. Shout out to Wix White Fine 89. Says K Dig. That's a good idea. Shout out to K Diggity. K Diggity said, Mr. Wick, it's a pretty good dude. Good choice on making him your actual bestie. Shout out to K Diggity. What is this idea? K Diggity. I don't know. Shout out to K Diggity. But let's go ahead and continue on, guys. What do we take a look at here? Let's take a quick look. Let me see. We already took a look at all of the requests, or at least the whole alt list. Bada boom. Let's see. I'll take one more look at Matic. Let's take a look at Matic. I don't know what happened to that Matic chart. Seems to be dead, though. Take a look at the XC perpetuals. Let's see. So, yeah, a lot of these alts. 2-day green dot looking to print. You also have these 2-day bull divs, right, to the bodies. Lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves. Can we see that Matic breakout? I will say, if you get that breakout, I probably would be pretty conservative looking for that if you got the bigger move up to bring it between about 53 and 49, 50 to 53 cents could be the next stop. Kind of annoying that this chart is no longer active. I guess I can get rid of that. Literally going to have to like redraw all these levels. But locally, I would I'll give you the local levels here on Matic. Bada boom. Neutral. Whoops. Come on. Value area high, POC. Value area low. So, yeah, if we continue up, I mean, this is your next area of balance between about 40 and 43 cents-ish. So, you know, if we get a pump to the upside, very naturally, we're probably going to gravitate towards this zone, get the breakout of the zone, and get a bigger move up. You know, not only do we have the Golden Pocket 786 up here, if we pull up the VPVR, or the Visible Range Volume Profile, pretty large gap here. Right, so the goal would be to get above this value area high, and then we could potentially see a quicker move up to about 49, all the way up to that 54-cent high volume node with that low volume gap in between. And that is what I'd be looking at on Matic. Money flow looking pretty good on these medium hourly time frames. And with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. I spent a lot of time on Bitcoin here because we had a lot to update on, so didn't get a chance to look at too many alts today. But we will be looking at them tomorrow as well. Is my sign crooked or am I tripping? Is it the camera? Am I crooked? I don't know. But shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for sticking around and hanging out here with us. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. Let's see if we get that continued pullback. But remember, the medium time frame money flow, guys, I would be locally looking for a small pullback before that continuation back up to higher prices. And then on the higher time frames, we still have that 3-day that is looking a little dangerous. But hopefully, we can see this local pump up over today and tomorrow, potentially. And with all that being said, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Had a
up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
All right, I'm going to start this motivational Monday quote. I give a quote every Monday now. Shout out to whoever gave us this idea. I'm going to start this off light. I've actually talked about this before without giving a quote. I just talk about the idea of this. But in your don't ever stop digging, because in your darkest moments is typically when you're about to strike gold. There it is. That's all I got. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we get this pump to continue. But remember, guys, we are still in the danger zone on the higher time frames. And remember, don't stop digging, because the dirt gets darkest right before you find gold. I think that's the saying. I don't know. I'll see you guys next time. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out.